My name is Thomas Karen, and I am an American classical actor. I first visited China 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, and it occurred to me that there would be a great opportunity here to develop a Chinese language Shakespeare theater, because every great city in the world has a Shakespeare theater in its own language. And with my background in the theater, over 45 years, and a lot of that in Shakespeare, it seemed to me that I was probably a good candidate for the job. So a little over 5 years ago, I moved to Shanghai. I've found employment teaching drama to young people. And now, in the year 2012, we are about to present our first Chinese language production of what we hope will be a permanent Chinese language Shakespeare theater. And our first play is The Tragedy of Antony and Cleopatra. So that's what this represents here. This will be the arch. This is actually going to be about 50 centimeters high.
The actors appear professional and poised as they stand on the postmodern style stage. However, these players are not professional actors, but merely drama enthusiasts. They all have their own weekday jobs and rehearse with Thomas in their spare time. To Thomas, however, these people are his Shakespeare stars.
You're lovers! You've got to connect with each other.
Antony and Cleopatra is Thomas's first groundbreaking production since he established the Shanghai Shakespeare Company last year. Despite its notoriety around the world, the play is still largely unknown to the Chinese audiences. The narrative, which takes place over a 10-year span, featuring settings in Europe, Asia and Africa, is an ambitious play to undertake as the company's first production. For Thomas, this makes the challenge even more rewarding.
This is what separates you from every other Chinese performance I've seen in China in 5 years. I've seen people with good energy. We saw the Chinese Shakespeare play. The energy was great. But the style was your grandfather's Shakespeare. The style was 19th century. Shakespeare's style is very modern. One place, one scene, next scene, next scene, next scene, next scene, next scene. Not stop, build a boat. Not stop, build a forest. Not stop, build a palace.
Antony and Cleopatra is a tragedy and a romance against a political backdrop. Many consider the role of Cleopatra in this play one of the most complex female roles in Shakespeare's work.
Don't stand taller than me. I'm very impressed with the way James has not been afraid to open himself up, show his heart, you know. They say Chinese people are afraid to show their feelings. I don't believe that because I see people screaming at each other on the street every day.
Usually Chinese people, they don't want to open himself or herself.
But that's your job. If you're going to be in the theater, you have to do that. Not a product. You're not creating a finished product. You never will. It's a process that you will over the next few years and maybe the rest of your life. I don't know. It's been my life. Are we ready? Let's get in our places. Go.
This group is the first batch of actors to join the Shanghai Shakespeare Company. All are Shakespeare lovers who've attended rehearsals with Thomas every Sunday for the past year and a half. Thomas says that these actors are hard-working and real theatre lovers, rather than young people dreaming of fame and fortune. To perform Shakespeare, one must have a deep understanding and love of Shakespeare. Only in this way will their performances be enough to touch the hearts of the audience.
So, no, they're not professionals. I know English-speaking actors who lots of experience in this town who I don't think are doing as good work as they're doing right now. I think they're doing very good work, you know. But what they need to do is time.
Thomas has always aspired to bring Shakespeare to China. He said that Shanghai is a city which is full of a mix of cultures and entrepreneurial opportunities, meaning that Shakespeare's art could really find belonging. Thomas was a professional actor for 45 years in America. Some of his previous roles included parts in some of Shakespeare's most celebrated plays, including Hamlet, King Lear and Macbeth.
I can't explain it, but there's something in me that has always been responded to China.
Thomas insists that even though acting may look easy, it's not as simple as one may assume. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. Thomas is hopeful that Shakespeare's words will have the same effect on the people of Shanghai that they've had on him.
Let me look at Shanghai, which is the New York City of China. So that's what brought me to Shanghai. And as I said, day one. So this is it. And it does remind me very much of New York City. You know, New York City, like any city, and especially Shanghai, is always changing.
Since moving to Shanghai, Thomas has been working non-stop. He works 8-hour days, 7 days a week.
Everybody wants to practice their English, yes. You know, so yeah, you can get by in Shanghai without Chinese. Pretty easy. The signs are in English and Chinese. You know, you can get by very basic, but I need more. I study every day. I can recognize about 700 characters. Hopefully I can get some kind of permanent residency where I don't have to go once a year to the Public Service Bureau and renew my visa. You know, in a few years I'll be 65 and it's going to be very hard to get a work permit. Maybe I'm naive, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe if you do good work, people will appreciate it. And this is only the first show, but I would hope, this is my goal. In 10 years, I would like to think that Shanghai Shakespeare is an internationally respected theater company. That you want to come to China and you want to see Shakespeare done well in Chinese, you're going to go see it done by the actors at Shanghai Shakespeare. After I'm gone, I hope Shanghai Shakespeare is still here. You know? It should be that way. It should be that way because every great city has its own Shakespeare.